Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Orcshead Chris here with you today with a modern deck for my mono black zombies. So this is a deck that's sort of amalgamated off of my blue black zombies. I decided to make it mono black. In my opinion it's worked a lot better, the deck. I do hope you enjoy it. There's a lot of changes I made from this deck from it originally, and I'm pretty pleased with how it's gone. So the idea of the deck is to just literally litter the board with zombies. You've got a bit of devotion playing with, so you've got stuff that can either be a finisher or generate a lot of mana. So you then use combo in with other spells to make a lot of zombies very quickly. So without further ado, we'll go to the first creature, which is Crit Breaker, which is 1 mana. It's a 1/1, it's a zombie, but his special abilities are: you pay 1 mana, 1 black, discard a card, put a 2/2 zombie on the battlefield, and then you can tap 3 untapped zombies, and then you get to draw a card, lose life. Very good start card, very good for getting zombies out very quickly, putting stuff in the graveyard. Only downside is it is very easy to removal very quickly, but as a starter card you can get card draw out of it. It's a very useful utility card out of it. I run 3 of these because they are good, but I don't really want to litter the deck with them, unfortunately. Next creature I run is Crit Break Gravecrawler, which is 1 mana. It's a 2/1 zombie. He cannot block, but you may cast from your graveyard as long as you control a zombie, so it's very handy. If you've got you should have zombies on the board, so you can literally keep swinging with him and bringing him back to the battlefield. It's an absolute must in this deck, in my opinion. Which is the reason I run 4 of these, because you can keep casting him back from the graveyard again and again and again, and it is really handy. It is such a powerful card, in my opinion, for just 1 mana. Next creature I run, which is 2 mana, it's 2 black, it's Relentless Dead. It's a zombie, it's a 2/2, he has menace, and when he dies you may play a black mana. If you do, return it to the owner's your hand, or if he dies you may pay X. If you do, return another target zombie creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to battlefield. So this combos in with other spells. You might be able to eliminate them to put enough, so like a Lord back on, or pay mana to keep getting him back on the battlefield and all that. The fact he's got menace as well, he is really nice. It's a very powerful card for a 2/2 in my opinion. You can do a lot with him. The only downside is you've got to keep mana open for him, which is one of the downsides of this card. Next one I run is Death Baron. This is our first Lord. It's a 2 black mana, 1 mana. It's a 2/2. It's a zombie wizard, but all skeleton creatures you control and other zombie creatures you control gets +1/+1 and have Death Touch. Now, as you can see from here, very deadly card. I've got running 2 of these at the minute. I'm looking to increase this to 4 as it goes on, but I've run 2 of these at the minute. He's very powerful, and you can do a lot of damage really quickly, especially with hand Death Touch. Any annoying sort of really powerful creatures, suddenly your opponent's having to think back before attacking, which is really powerful. And the fact is he's out of sort of like fatal push and that, unless the opponent sort of gets rid of a creature or a permanent to get rid of him, which is really handy. Next one I run is Gareth's Messenger, which is 3 black mana. He's a zombie, he's a 3/2, and he enters battlefield tapped. When he enters battlefield, target opponent loses 2 life and he is undying, which is if he dies and he has had no +1/+1 counter, so return it back to the field with a +1/+1 counter. Now, this is where the fun begins. If your opponent has Solemnity out, suddenly you can keep killing Gareth's Messenger continuously and drain their life. So suddenly, with this card, you can attack all out. I am looking to see if I can run this with Solemnity in the board, and maybe do this as a win con, which might be for a future deck tech with black and white, but that's for another time. But he is a very good attacker. You can drain a lot of life off with it, and the fact is that he comes back to field and the opponent loses another 2 life, it makes him think real hard, and he is such a good devotion card as well, because suddenly you've got a lot of devotion with him, and because we're running mono black, it's not that difficult to get him on the field, which is the main reason I run 4 of these. Next Lord I run, which is another Lord, is Lord of the Undead. He's 1 mana, 2 black. All zombies get +1/+1, and you can make, he's a 2/2, and you may pay 1 mana, 1 black, and return target zombie card from your graveyard to your hand. Now, one thing I've got to point out this card that I discovered the other day, note that it says all zombies, so if your opponent has zombies, they're going to get the buffer as well. So this is something to keep in mind when you're playing this card. But other than that, he's a very powerful Lord. You can get cards back from the graveyard to your hand very nicely. If your opponent lets him stick, suddenly all sort of like Death Baron and all that, you can suddenly get back on the field. Gareth Messages can come back on the field. It is very handy and very nice. Whoops, we just gone back there. But yeah, as you can see, he is very powerful card. Does very nice damage and all that. I tend to run 4 of these because again it gives damage up really quickly and really nicely. So next card I run is Steel Moon Cavalier. He's 2 mana, 2 black or white and 1 mana. He has several special abilities. So for him, he has protection from black and white, and also he can pay 1 black or white and he gains flying, pay 1 black or white and first strike, or play 2 black or 2 white and he gets +1 till end of turn, and he starts off as 2/1. Now, the fact it's a zombie, the fact you have so much use for this, and the fact it is got protection from white and black makes this card, in my opinion, overpowered as hell. Against black or white decks, mono white, mono black decks, you're going to be laughing. Against decks that has run black or white in it, it is going to do very nasty damage. You know, suddenly you can do a lot of damage very quickly and very nicely with it. Only downside is, you, as with Relentless Dead, you've got to keep mana open, unfortunately, with it. That is the downside with it, but as you can see, you can do a lot of damage very quickly with it. So the final creature I run is Grey Merchant Hospital, which is 3 mana, 2 black. He's a 2/4 zombie. When he enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black. So suddenly this is where all the Gareth Messengers and Death Barons, Lords and all that comes suddenly into play. Suddenly you can drain a lot of life of them, and you gain life to equal to loss this way. So you can do a lot of damage very quickly. It is, you know, a really powerful win con, in my opinion. I only running 1 of him at the minute. I'm possibly going to run 2. The only unfortunate bit, he is quite high in mana for what he's worth. So it is something in the future I may run 2 or put an extra one in the sideboard. So that's all other creatures. So Planeswalkers I run, at the moment I run 2 Liliana the Veils, 2 black, 1 white, 1 mana. She starts with 3 loyalty, and a +1 is each player discards a card, and -2 is target player sacrifice the creature, and then -6 is you separate all permanents into 2 piles. That player sacrifices all opponents in one pile of his choice. So suddenly you can make him choose either lands or creatures, or split him half, you know, severely drain them out of him. Only bad side of Liliana Vale, as you can see, is the price of her. So unfortunately, if you can't afford her, next card I would advise on top of it is Liliana Last Hope. She is a very good alternative with a new Planeswalker ability. I am sort of looking at running her on side as well, see how that goes. Again, it's something I'm going to experiment and find out from there. I am sort of looking at increasing her to 3, but at the moment I'm sort of running 2 of her at the minute. So that's it with Planeswalker. Spells, I run 3 Dark Salvations, which is 1 mana and 2 X of your choice, and target player puts X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens onto the battlefield, then up to 1 target creature gets -1/1 till the end of turn for each zombie that player controls. So you can, this is a very good utility card. You can use it to generate zombies, or you can just pay 1 black mana, make, and you've got a lot of zombies, just make drain, get a creature off the field, really powerful creature off the field. Or one thing I do like is the fact is you get to choose when afterwards. So suddenly if you change your mind after you got your zombies, you can at that point, which is really handy. Run through these because it does drain a lot of mana very quickly, and does, you know, unfortunately does leave you quite open mana wise, but it's still a very powerful card for what it's worth. Next spell I run is 4 Fatal Pushes. It's 1 mana, it's an instant. Destroy target creature, it has converted mana cost 2 or less, or if you get the revolt trigger, which is if you sacrifice, you lose a permanent you control this turn, you may do it to 4 or less instead. It's a no-brainer with this card, a very powerful card. Gets rid of Tarmogoyf, all the annoying little creatures really nastily and very quickly. Next one I run is 1 Ghoulcrawler's Chant, which is 1 mana, 1 black. It's a sorcery, and you get to choose one. So you get to choose either to return target creature from your graveyard to your hand, or return 2 target creature zombie cards from your graveyard to your hand. As you can see, very powerful. You can suddenly get a lot of zombies back in your hand very quickly and fill your hand very nicely with that card. I run through these because it's just a utility card. If you don't have zombies in your graveyard, it is useless. Next one I run is 4 Inquisition of Kozilek. It's 1 mana, and the sorcery, target player reveals his or her hand, and you get to force them to discard a non-mana card with mana cost 3 or less. Very handy for people who run low mana cost decks. Get rid of very powerful cards very quickly. Only shame bit is if they hold a very high mana card, you can't get rid of it, unfortunately. But yeah, so that is it with spells and all that. Enchantments, I just run one of this, is Endless Ranks of the Dead. 2 mana, 2 black. It's enchantment, at the beginning of your upkeep, put X 2/2 zombie creatures tokens on the battlefield, where X is half the number of zombies you control rounded down. So basically, if you control 5 zombies, you round it down to 4, you get to cast to get to 2 zombies. If you control 2 zombies, you get 1 zombie. If you control 1 zombie, you get 0, and so forth. So, but the fact is, it's happened each upkeep. This can is a really powerful zombie generator very quickly, and you can suddenly, you know, get devotion very quickly from this very nicely. So it's more of a funny card, but it can get ridiculous very quickly. So that is it for the main board. For the lands, I run 2 Dunes of the Dead, which is 1 mana, and when it is put to graveyards from battle, create 2/2 zombie creature token. This is a card for the sideboard, which we'll get into in a minute. 3 Ghost Quarters, add 1 mana to your pool, and then sacrifice it, and then make your opponent discard a card, destroy target land from your opponent or your land, and then you get search for basic land. Handy for either destroying a really powerful land they control, or better yet, you combine it with Dunes of the Dead and get a zombie out of it and just lose 1 land out of it. Leech Ridden Swamp, 1 of, it ends battlefield tap. You can tap it for black mana, or tap 1 black and tap it. Each opponent loses 1 life. Activate the ability only if you control 2 or more black permanents. Very good for long games. You can drain them very quickly. 3 Nick Frostshine the Nyx, which is 1 mana. Then you can tap it for 2 mana and tap it, and then choose colour. Add that colour to mana pool, depending on what your devotion is. So I'll choose devotion of black, so you get to really cast. If your devotion is 5, you get 5 black mana floating. It is really handy card, very handy in conjunction with Dark Salvation. 1 Scavenger Grounds, add 1 mana to your pool, or tap 2, sacrifice a desert. So again, you could sacrifice Dunes of the Dead. Exile all cards from all graveyards. Very good for eliminating anyone who loves graveyard play, but just bear in mind this hits your graveyard as well, so you just keep that in mind as you do it. And then I run 8 swamps and then 2 Urborgs, which each land is a swamp in addition to its other land type, so suddenly you can tap like Ghost Court and all that for black mana, or better yet tap Scavenger Grounds for black mana and all that. So that's the main deck. For sideboard I run 2 Surgical Extractions, choose target card from graveyard other than a basic land card, search its library and its graveyard, hand and library for that many cards and exile them. Then that player reshuffles, and it has Phyrexian counter, so you play for black mana or 2 life. The fact it's an instant as well is the reason I run 2 of these. It's very handy and very handy for getting rid of some really nasty cards. I run 2 Dash Hopes, which is 2 black mana. It's an instant. Now this is a very funny card, and I'll tell you this because when you play it, your opponent may pay 5 life. If it does, it counter it, but you get to counter a target spell with it. So suddenly you're giving your opponent a choice to either lose a quarter of their life or have their spell countered. The fact is that we're playing black here and we can counter a target spell with black. This will guarantee throw your opponents off very easy and very nicely with this deck. It's one of my favourite cards, and it is really funny to play with, because your opponent looking and saying, what the heck have you just played? Next one I run is 3 Smallpoxes, which is 2 black mana. It's sorcery, each player loses 1 life, discards a card, sacrifice a creature, and then sacrifice a land. Again, good for putting the pressure on your opponent. Suddenly you have plenty of stuff to sacrifice, like sacrificed Gravecaller, discard a Gravecaller, sacrifice Dunes of the Dead. You know, sort of, you've got stuff you can play with this, but your opponent won't, so it sort of hampers them a lot with this deck, with that card. Run 1 Ruinous Path, sorcery, 1 mana, 2 black, destroy a target creature or planeswalker, and then you get there's an awakening cost of 4 with 5 mana, 2 black, put 4. It is basically put 4 counters on on 1 land. It becomes a 4/4 creature with haste, but it's still a land. Again, good for getting another blocker or swinging for lethal, or getting rid of any pesky creatures or planeswalkers. 2 Sarcastic Sacraments. This is again a very nice little funny card I like to run. 3 black. Now it has a kicker for 7, but what we get to cast it for is set a target library for up to 3 target cards, exile them, and that player suffers his or her library. Now if it's kicked, you get to search up to for 15 cards, but the fact is you could exile or half, 3/4 of their land. But the fact is you get to look at their deck, you don't have to name the card, look through their deck, see what they sideboarded, and then get rid of stuff you fancy. It is a really handy card, and if you get the kicker cost, that is just funny, and it is just pretty much a game ender for them. 1 Violent Plague, which is 2 mana, 1 black, enchantment, creature tokens get -2/-2, good for enchantment hate. 2 Damnations, 2 mana, 2 black, destroy creatures, they can't be regenerated, handy for getting rid of board wipes or resetting the board if your opponent gets rid of got too many creatures on the board. And the last one I run in the sideboard is 2 of Leyline of Void, 2 mana, 2 black, it's an enchantment. If Leyline is in your opening hand, you may begin it on the battlefield. If in the card would be put into your opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it. Said one of the ultimate graveyard hate in modern, is very essential. One of my cards I think you need to run in black if you're playing black. The fact is, you get rid of all your good graveyard in your opponent's deck and leaves you alone is absolutely essential. So that is my deck, guys. It's a deck that I've been playing a lot. I've been playing a few PTTQs. I love it a lot. It's one of my favourite decks at the minute for modern. I win some games, I lose some with it, but I just have so much fun with it. But yeah, here it is, guys. If you've got any comments below, let me know. If you've got any suggestions with it, I'd love to hear it, but let me know what you think. Be sure to leave your comments in the YouTube channel, or better yet, grab me on my on my Twitter account, which is also Chris, and just tweet me and say what you think. I love to hear your comments and opinions. They sort of give me an idea of what I can do or improve or anything. But apart from that, don't forget to subscribe and like us, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. Till then, catch you later.
Hi guys, remember if you like that video, please smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel. Let's keep the MTG community growing here on YouTube. And from this, please check out our other playlist. We have plenty of other Magic the Gathering content from myself and the other boys at Orcs Head Magic. And we will catch you all very soon.